What's good with the YouTube? You already know this is Big Flacco with a convict's perspective, man. And I got my boy Chongo on here once again, man, who got us another story to tell about the treachery, the betrayal, the corruption that occurs within these movements, man, behind the wall, man. And sometimes, regardless of something being right, when an order is given, you still have to follow through with that order, especially when it's coming from a higher command or a higher authority. So I'm gonna let Chongo take off. I'm not even gonna interrupt him on this. I may have some questions afterwards, but hey, Chongo, do what you do, brother.
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, brother.
Hey, feel free, man. If you want to ask a question in between when I'm talking, bro, that's fine. You know what I mean?
I get.
Kind of helps me out, you know.
Yeah, I know that.
I want to tell you a story about a guy I knew. You know, I knew him real well, and he was a homie, you know. And his name's Angel Spencer. You know, he's from the east side. A lot of homeboys know him. You know, they call him Short Dog. You know, and you know, we got along pretty good. And he was an hermano at the time, and you know, like I said, he's well known in the city of San Jose. You know, and well, what happened was we were in the county jail, and we was kicking it, and well, when I was coming from court, and when I went to court, I got a kite from another homeboy, and you know, through the tunnels. You know, if anybody knows, you know, the tunnels go to, you know, when you go to court in Santa Clara County, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you go to the new jail and the old jail. And you know, the other day we were talking about, you know, the structure of the Santa Clara County jail. It's not just the fourth floor; it's every floor in the new jail, and then we got the old jail, and then we got Elmwood. You know, so everybody that's from San Jose, just in that area, Milpitas, you know, everybody that goes to that area from Sunnyvale and
Gilas,
you know, all that goes Gilas, what's it, and not Hollister, Morgan Hill. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, it's all go one county. Anyhow, everything is structured. Well, me and Angel were on one of the floors, and when I came back from court, I got a kite saying that Angel was no good. So I'm telling myself, come on, man. I'm here with this dude, you know? And this other homeboy named Ernie, he was an hermano at the time too, Ernie Aguilar. Mm. And you know, he had a estrella on his forehead too. You know, a lot of homeboys had estrellas on their foreheads back then, you know? I had a estrella on my forehead, you know?
Yeah.
You know, at the time. You know, now everybody knows I already removed my tattoos. But anyhow, I get the wheel line, it came from Gibby Garcia, Gilbert Garcia, you know, and another hermano, you know. So he's running the floor, on the fourth floor, and, you know, he's been around for a while, you know. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, he ends up shooting that order. So he gives it to me and says, hey, make sure I hit him. So I get at Ernie, I said, hey, Bo. And Ernie's in charge of the floor there. So I tell him, hey, Bo, Ernie's, excuse me, they're saying, Short Dog, man, gotta go. So I asked, too, why? He said that he was messing with a homegirl's daughter, but she was underage. Now, mind you, look at, a lot of people know me and the way I operated and the way, like I said, and the way I was. You know, I was a little horn dog. You know, I'm not glorifying being a player or anything like that, but it is what it is, man. You know, a lot of women, you know, were attracted to me. You know, I guess they like that gangster lifestyle. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you know, and that's why I got that ladies love gangsters. But anyhow, the girl I was dealing with her, I used to mess with her. And, you know, and I was cool with the daughter. Yeah, she was underage. She was like 17. She was a good homegirl, you know what I mean? And she was, matter of fact, she was messing with the other homeboy from the east side named Thumper. And so I was like, man, how is that possible? How, you know? So, okay, well, I'm not trying to get beamed, you know? And then it's like, so that's my homie, but let's go. So I told Ernie, so we got a pedazo, and I took him out to the deck, and I hit him. and I hit him like 3 times, 4 times, I think. He went down to the floor. He was down. So he was laying down on the floor, and I told him, hey, Bo, lay down, Bo. So I take off. I flush the peas. As I'm coming out of the cell, Short Dog is coming to the day area, the common area. And he's leaking. And he's conscious, but he's like dizzy. And he looks at me, and matter of fact, I think my homeboy Horse, from the west side, Caballo.
Mm-hmm.
He's sitting right there, and Short Dog says, hey, what the fuck, Chons? What the fuck are you doing? Because, like, the homies know me. Everyone calls me Chons or, Big Chons,
Mm-hmm.
So I told him, lay your ass down, bro, and he's coming at me. So, man, he came at me, so I lit him up, you know what I mean? And, they hit the button. They all rushed in, cuffed us up, took us out. I ended up going to the old jail. And so the gang coordinator comes, she's talking about, hey, what's up, I'm lieutenant or sergeant, whatever she, I forgot her name, to be honest with you. She was a pretty ass, at the time, I forgot her name, she was pretty, gang coordinator. She pulls me in, so what's up, Zavala? What's this all about? Yeah, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? You got to say, well, you're going to have to, we're going to charge you and this and that for a side. I said, well, you do what you want to do, but, she's like, where's the peace? I said, dude, I didn't listen, man. It was just a altercation, man. What was the altercation about? I said, I don't know. It was just an altercation. Well, where's the peace? He's leaking. I said, I don't know. So anyhow, they moved me into another pod. And when I get there, Gibby's there, and he's like, hey, what's up, bro? Everything's good, you know what I mean? My other homeboy's there, Paul, and he's an hermano, Paul Adams. And, I look at him, and he tells me, hey, what's up, Chons? And I felt something, you know what I mean? He's like, hey, Bo, hey, be careful. I said, what? He goes, hey, what do you mean be careful, boy? You just had me hit a homeboy, you know what I mean? What do you mean be careful? So, Gibby is acting all like nonchalant, like, so I'm like, and I'm on pod time. And then so I was like, man, what's up with this? So, and then Gibby tells me, hey, Bo, you took care of that, woo woo. I'm like, all right, yeah, but what's going on? What was that all about? He goes, no, it had to be done. I said, bro, I'm telling you right now, that was wrong, bro. I'm telling you right now, that was wrong. And he's like, no, that was right. Well, that's on you because you're in charge, and, that's on you. I did what I had to do, so make sure you report that. Well, at the same time, I go out to the deck. I mean, this happened all simultaneously, you know what I mean? From that day with me and Angel, a Short Dog, and then the next day, when I go to the other pod, I go out to the deck, I see this youngster. To this day, I don't even know his name. I don't remember his name. He looked kind of Chinese, dude. I don't even know his name. And all this is in the 90s, Mm-hmm. So I forgot, I met a lot of people, and I even people I've heard, or people, I forget, sometimes I forgot to names,
Yeah.
So anyhow, the kid comes, and he's looking all like, like suspicious, and I'm on the deck looking out the window, when you're on the fourth floor looking
Mm-hmm.
down, because we're in 4A, so you can come out to pod time, and then you can see down the city. You know how you see the city of right there, the overpass thing right there, the Guadalupe. So anyhow, dude comes, and I look at him, and he comes straight to the side of me, and I want to introduce myself. I said, what's up, homie? And he swung at me with a razor. I looked at, I pulled back. Bro, man, I lit this dude up. I mean, I broke him off. And I had him on the floor, you know what I mean? Broke his nose. I mean, I did some damage to him. Because I was like, what this dude doing, man? So then police come. But he didn't push the button. Man, I kind of felt bad because when I'm on dude, I'm stomping on him, and the CO comes and like tries to grab me, so I pushed him off. But I didn't know. I thought it was another dude, another homeboy, so I thought I was getting jumped. But it was a CO. So I backed off because, you know, we're not supposed to indulge or get in, you know, altercation with the police, you know what I mean, or hit the police unless it's necessary. You know what I mean? He wasn't a threat. He was just doing a job. So I backed up, and he said, Zavala, I need you to get down. Zavala, I need you to get down. I said, man, I ain't getting down, you know? So then I guess he had pushed the button now, and they all came. So I said, listen, I told the CO, I said, listen, this had nothing to do with you, man. Okay, so I apologize to you. So anyhow, I get rolled up. I end up going to the old jail. And it couldn't have been Super Max because all that was filled up. I went to
Little Max?
I went to one of them tiers. Not Little Max. It wasn't one of those. It was on the other side, bro. So I was in red. When I walked by, I seen Timo Hernandez.
Mm-hmm.
And I know him, you know, he's like, hey, what's up, Charles? So, nothing. So I went down to the tier, and I was sitting there, you know, trying to figure out. I mean, I already figured out because I remember right before they were cuffing me up, Gibby was out the window looking at me. So I said, all right. You know, he looked at me, and like he had this, you know, this grin on his face, you know what I mean? Like laughing, you know? You know, so I said, all right. So I'm in the tier, and I get a kite, a wheeler from Timo. He's like, what's up, Charles, man? I ain't seen you in a long time. What's up, homie? Woo, 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 right? So he gives me a wheeler and tells me, hey, man, you know what's up with me, right? Because just so you guys let you know, at the time, everybody knew they had Timo PC'd, but it wasn't because his choice. That was the administration PC'd up. So he shoots me a kite, and he tells me, listen, bro, I want you to see this kite. And I said, what's up? So he showed me this kite from Bobby. And I don't know if it was
Silent, right?
Pinky. Yeah, Silent. Yeah. Bobby Lopez. You know, Silent. You know, he's on death row right now. Well, yeah. He still is, right?
No, he's on the main line now. Salinas
Right?
Valley. He's actually on the main line.
Oh,
Believe it or not.
oh, he got off. He got off the death row.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. You know what? You're right, bro. My bad. That's my bad. Yeah. So anyhow, that's good, man. That's good for him, man. So anyhow, so he shoots me the kite. He goes, hey, bro, listen, the homies, the fella say, you know, just hold your mug, and we don't care if you're living. He said, we don't care if you're in pink leotards. You're still in good standings. So I'm like, yeah. So I shoot a wheeler to him. I said, listen, when you go to court or when you get at the fellas, whatever you do, bro, I want you to shoot this wheeler to them. You know, listen. So I ran the whole thing that happened, and I you know, talking about Gibby Garcia, you know, and what happened with Angel Spencer and so forth, and this youngster, and all right. So I ran the whole thing down in a wheeler. So boom. At the same time, I was there for a couple days. At the same time, I go out to get a visit. Matter of fact, it was the next, like 2 days later. So I went to the visiting room, and in the visiting room, they have these little, it's just one booth. And then where I'm sitting at, you can see the main line for the jail, for the old jail. Because they get their visit. They got all these booths, right? It's open. They're little bunks, like, you know. So when it's finishing up, my visit leaves, and I'm still waiting for the cop to come. And Linda Spencer is right there finishing up her visit. And I guess he's talking to, I think, Wolfie from the east side. I guess she was visiting him. But she turns around and she says, what's up, Charles? You know? So we start talking through the glass, and because I want to through the glass. And she's like, what happened, man? I said, well, what? I kind of felt bad because, that's my homegirl, she always says, like, what happened to my brother? You guys are like brothers, and all this and that. She had love for me and I had love for her, So she's like, hey, what happened, man? They said my brother's in the hospital. I said, in the infirmary. I said, how? And I'm playing the part. I'm like, he's in the infirmary. How? I don't know. Weren't you with them? I said, man, I got in trouble over here, man. Seriously? I said, listen, and she's visiting. Now, mind you, just so you guys let you know, Angel Spencer is related to Bobby, Silencio Lopez. So Linda is going to see Silencio. Well, Linda comes, and I told her, listen, when you see Bobby, tell him I said it was that. I said that it was all Gibby Garcia. Just tell him that, Gibby Garcia. How you do it in there? Just do it. You know what I mean? You know how to operate. She said, all right, son. Hey, listen. And here comes the cop unlocking the thing, and she's all right. Hey, I love you, bro. Blah blah blah. I said, okay, you stay up. So then, I guess later on, the filters went out. How they went out, but they went out, and a little while later, I guess Gibby gets indicted, or he gets pulled in the back with the fellas, and into the Supermax, and I guess when he was on the tier, and Tranquilo, ended up spearing Gibby when he was going to the shower, and I was like, okay, and I guess justice was done, you know what I mean? Was served, I guess, and I'm not, mad at Gibby. I'm not, like I told you before. I told you guys before. That was a part of my past, and that's the life I was living. All the corruption, and the reason I'm telling you this story is that I never had a chance to expose anything because I had all this information, all this stuff on me through all the years, and then, like I said, I get blasted. I'm on the streets. Doing my thing. I get in trouble. I end up, going to the feds. So now we are, 20-something years later. Even though I've been out for a while, I'm watching all these YouTubes, and I'm thinking, well, you know what? I know who Boxer is. I don't know Gunner. I see the homie story guy. I don't know him. So I'm thinking, who am I going to try to holler at? And it took me a minute because I've been out for a minute. So I'm trying to figure out who I'm trying to holler and try to, clarify certain things, And let me go talk to Flock because he has charisma. I feel the way he operates, and I even did my investigation as far as asking other people, and because I got my resources too. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. I'm not. Sitting here looking all, not knowing what's going on, So anyhow, I said, you know what, let me holler at Flacco. But back to the story, Gibby gets hit, and when I get out in 95, I see Angel, Short Dog. And I didn't know what to expect, you know what I mean? I'm already on the move, and what's up, And he was like, "Hey, Charles, what's up, homie?" Because I pulled up, because then he heard he wanted. Matter of fact, someone got word to me that he wanted to talk to me.
Yeah,
that's right. He wanted to talk to me. You know what I mean? So I met him somewhere on the west side, and I had a couple people with me, but he came by himself. So I was like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "What's up, Charles? Man, listen, bro. Ain't nothing but love, man. Listen, you had to do what you got to do, man. And I already know what happened, bro. It was all Gibby, bro. And I'm not mad at you. And I still love you, bro. And I'm like, hey, bro, okay, if it's cool like that, then hey, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? But the story, the moral of the story is on how people abuse their authority, and sometimes when it comes to this game, man, it's all whacked, it's all messed up, man. At the end of the day, whether it's sanctioned or not, whether it's a good hit or not, it shouldn't be no. There's no future for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I guess there was justice, on the thing with Gibby. And at the end of the day, I don't know where he's at. I ain't heard nothing about him. Hey, I wish him the best of luck. That was, part of the past, But I thought I wanted,
I got some questions for you.
As far as, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Okay, so what was his agenda in having Angel hit?
Well,
I know a lot of people, either they really liked Angel or they couldn't stand him. There was no in between with him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, I know. See, that's the thing. And like I told you guys before, like I said, I've done my dirt. You know what I'm saying? I've done stuff. You know what I mean? As far as in the organization, but I never abused my authority. I did some things, but hey, I cleaned up. You know what I mean? And maybe in the near future, I'll expose all that. You know what I mean? But as far as that with Gibby, I think there was a personal vendetta towards Angel. I didn't have no beef. He jammed me up and jammed both of us up. You know what I mean? But the end result, and I'm gonna be honest with you, even back then, I wasn't even mad, bro, on that. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. That's how you feel. You did that. That's fine. I think he was just trying to knock out two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Okay, that was one question. You know what I mean? If you have any more questions, go ahead, man. Because I'm pretty sharp, so
Yeah, I'm just because I know how the fourth floor operates. I know how the old jail. I've been to every part of it, right? How would he feel that he could make? I don't understand how he would think that he'd be able to make a decision like that and there wouldn't be no backlash. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, of course. And plus, you know what? At the end of the day, remember, when all that stuff was happening with the fellas and all that, maybe this is my assumption. After looking back, he was just trying to, do what, knock people off, cut them off, for his own personal gain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's probably going to be on his way out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because people do that. You know what I mean? They go, go renegade and just do things on the way out. Whether they take money from the bank, do wrong sanctioned hits, just do crazy stuff, bro. I mean, I've seen it. And I'm pretty sure you've seen it. Especially in your era, man. There's a lot of corruption. You know what I mean? So, from day one, there's been corruption. So, we can't say, anything. It's from the 70s to the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s.
So, how was the COC within the NR? Since there was Carnales there and there was Bros there, were you guys still reporting to the Carnales, or were they letting you guys operate on your own functions there?
Oh yeah, no, we if there was a canal, okay, fine, but the NR ran its own structure.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I try to tell people. I try to tell people that they have their own little structure, their own little meetings, their own all that stuff, man. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, but don't get me wrong. We still had to report to our canal to make sure that everything was running smooth. You know what I'm saying? But the NR was a machine. Well-oiled machine running its own. Like I said, it had its own structure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, man. If all the brothers, all the bros, got together, they would have took over the whole organization. You know what I mean? Remember, a lot of bros got schooling. Where do you think all the schooling came from?
I know.
All the canales. You know what I mean?
There was a part.
Just out of the respect.
There was a part I was told by Fig, right, that came out of some of their old teachings, right? I forgot what part it is. I'll call him up and ask him, right? And he said that's what the bonds were drawn from. You know what I'm saying? Almost word for word, he said. It was like part of it was some type of old educational format that they had. You know what I'm saying? So all that schooling comes from somewhere, like you said, man. And see, that was I remember when all that was going on, but see, they were already 2 steps ahead, man. Like you said, you were recruited as an undercover. They already had plants everywhere within the NR. That's why when you had we'll talk about it later on, but there was Pee Wee and a couple other people who were trying to make a little stance against the NF because they felt like, and I get it, man. Because when they stripped the NR, there was a lot of people fucking upset about that, bro.
What Pee Wee? What Pee Wee from Gilroy?
Lopez, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was when I met Pee Wee, he was cool. I mean, I was on the yard, he was there. It was almost like he was the representative for the NR, and then they had one that was a carnale because they had separate juntas on the yard. Sometimes they'd have the C's on one side with their juntas, and the B's would have their own juntas. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a little different back then. People don't realize that the being an NR member, or what they call today an soldado, or even now it's been abolished in some places, right? It meant something, bro. You know what I'm saying?
No.
The bros back then, okay, the carnales that are getting recruited today could not even be pulled as an NR back then, is what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
The quality was really there, man. Like you said, man. So
Hey, especially bro, just coming from the city of San Jose.
Yeah.
And I'm not set tripping. And then now watch this. The schooling from San Jose, all the homies. You know what I mean? I'm from the east side, all around the city of San Jose. And then you got these other cities next to it that fall into Santa Clara County, like your city. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's homies coming out of there. All the way around, like you say, homeboy, Gilroy. There's a lot of homies from over there, Morgan Hill,
mm-hmm.
And that's just one area, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But San Jose itself, man, you had homies, man, left and right, a lot of bulls, and it was like a big old, man, and it was cool. It was real structured, man.
Mm-hmm.
And there was more. Remember, there was only at the time, growing up, there was all the canales were locked up. You know what I mean? You would see a canal once in a while, and you'd have the A&R, one homeboy, position. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where everybody, and that was the misinterpretation too, because you had a lot of homeboys. I'll give you an example. There were so many NR members from San Jose, you even had dudes thinking, they were canales.
Yeah, because there was a time.
The way they conduct themselves and all that, you know what I mean?
There was a time period that within the there's always been revisions. I remember there was you had a function for 90 days at one time as a bro. Remember that? They had that policy, and then they also used to have little structure regiments, and then you started having people on the main lines who would try to establish. They got so ahead of themselves that they would send people out there to the streets, and they would try to establish their own regiments for a minute. I mean, people don't. There was kind of separate. There was a little bit of separation, but at the same time, they would still acknowledge a higher command. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there was a few that were trying to pull away.
I was gonna say something too. I forgot. When all that was happening with Gibby, even before he got hit, when I had talked to, I just remembered something. That's where I went. We got back to Pelican Bay, the Wheelock too with Gibby. I mean, what happened right there is they were right there. The homies were right there. The canales were right there. So they took care of Gibby. But I forgot when I finished talking to Timo, I got moved back to the 4th floor, and I remember this was crazy. Even after all that happened, just to show you how I roll. I was in the 4th floor, and I forgot if it was C or what's the other one? B.
Mm-hmm.
Because A is the middle one, So I think I was in C, and Gibby, he was on the other pod, and I was out for phone time and all that, pod time. He was on the other side, and they had passed out mail, and they gave me mail, and it was a letter of Gibby's. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They gave me Gibby's mail. So I looked at it. I looked at the mail, and Gibby was on the other side, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, but he looked at me like the wall of shame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I told the CEO, I say, hey, listen, man. I put it onto the slide. I say, hey, here you go, man. Here's this letter, man. That ain't mine. That's Garcia's right there. He goes, what? I go, yeah, it's Garcia's. Here. I gave him his letter. And then, at the same time, I forgot because we were talking about canales and, the NR. um, Lilo from Salinas. Last name, he's a carnal. I don't know what happened to him, but he was still active. He was still, he was popular. He's from Salinas.
Philo? Did you say Pilo? Pilo?
No, Lilo.
Lilo.
Lilo
Okay.
from, his last name is Paredes.
Okay.
Or not Paredes or something like that. Anyhow, I ended up hollering at him, and I gave him the whole rundown. I gave him a report on everything that happened on that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and I know for a fact he got that report, and then he ended up sending it to. This is for a fact. I know he sent it to Perez, Conejo,
Mm-hmm.
James Perez, and then I had shot my wheelhouse to Tibbs, but that was my story on the issue with Angel Spencer, and how, like you said, the treachery and the misabuse of authority, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On how things go, and then how sometimes it's necessary, you know what I mean?
Well, the Spencers were always involved in the game, if you know what I mean. So there was a lot of hate based upon that as well. A lot of money was owed and stuff like that, man. So I mean, where did they owe it? They owned that one club at that one time, right? On the west side, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but no, that
was the Palacios.
Palacios, okay, the Palacios. Yeah, I know. George.
Well, it's all,
they're all affiliated though.
All,
Yeah.
Everybody, because all the East Side, all them, you know what I mean? Boxer and Machaca, they're all, because remember
Machaca. I ain't heard the Machacas for a minute, bro.
Yeah, Rudy. Nice deal with Rudy. Good boxer. He's a good guy, and his brother. You know what I mean?
Boxer Machaca. I forgot about him. Yeah.
And Willie was,
Willie Machaca too, huh? Yeah.
Willie has a kid. Willie has a kid from Linda Spencer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're all connected somehow. All of them.
But see, I was going to tell you that, bro. That's how it is, bro. And look, somehow, some way, that's how everybody knows each other. From every hood, every part of the city. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You end up being with this girl, and it's all connected. You know what I mean? And then back then, the KJ was popping the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the '80s, and the '90s. I mean, even after late, you had little Gabe, still doing his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From the north side. All these dudes are good dudes. You had Donald from the west side.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Tapia. Everybody's pushing KJ. You know what I mean? Even when I was out there after 2000 and all that, before I got arrested and all that.
That's when Bird was out there, huh?
Everyone's still pushing that, huh?
That's when Bird was out there, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just it's all a whole. I can sit here and drop names after names after names, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Hitters, you know what I mean? From the west side, the homies, you know what I mean? I'm just talking about whether they're connected or not. Just homies, period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From my hood, from the east side, just like over and over. You know what I mean? But it's like I said before, it's a good city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Well,
but I don't know if anything you want to say. But,
well, I think there's going to be some more that are going to be going into this topic. There's a crazy story that happens after this that we're going to be going into, but we're going to mix it up with different things because we think these stories like this need to be told. But we're also going to come back to some positive ones as well that are strictly just focused on the positiveness. But this just goes to show you, man. I mean, this has happened numerous times, man. I mean, there's been people who've been blasted, they've been hit, marked, scarred, and you know what I mean. And I got to give it to them. There's a few people they decide not to lock up afterwards, and they get cleared off bad calls, and that'd be hard, bro. I mean, like I'd be pissed off. You know what I mean? I'd be ready to kill someone, man. You know what I mean?
No, that's the mentality, bro. Look at Angel. Angel took it to he took it to the chin. You know what I mean? And still, but he got cleared.
Yeah, but he got removed a few times and got cleared, bro. I mean, it was like, I mean. The only one that I think had worse luck, right? And they didn't have worse luck because of catching cases or not. I mean, as far as getting hit, but just catching like the craziest cases or just being caught up was fucking what's his name, Gonell from Gilroy. You know what I'm saying? besides that, I mean, you know, the Angel's name, he was always getting removed. You know what I'm saying? And then cleared. It's almost like it wouldn't get to the location he needed to get to, you know, as far as being cleared. And when he got there, he would submit his report, and then they would still hit him anyway. So a lot of it has to be personal, guys. You know, and that has a tendency to happen. You know, and whether someone's making money in the dope game or whether someone's doing this and that, there's going to be certain things to where that issue is going to be pressed a little bit harder because someone sometimes is benefiting from it. You know what I mean? This one right here, I think like I said, me and you both know what he was involved in, where they were connected, who they were associated with. So there could have been a little bit of hate there. There could have been some money owed. There could have been a whole lot of issues on the table there, man. But for whatever reasons, you know, Gibby did what he did. Anyways, hey, gracias for coming on once again, man. I know you got you're going to bring a lot of heat. He's going to bring, you know what I mean? We're going to go over a lot of stuff, guys, man. And I really appreciate Chongo for taking the time. There's a couple other things that he's going to be talking about that nobody knows. It's going to be the first time him ever revealing. And I'm interested to hear it. All right, brother. You have a good one, bro.
Oh, you too, bro. You stay up, bro.